Om Namo Hare Krishna. So we'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, observing the armies or Sainya Darshan. And today's shloka is shloka number 36. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami. So we'll today discuss the shloka number 36. So Arjuna is having conversation with Krishna and he is telling Krishna about his situation. And yesterday he told that I cannot fight or I am not prepared to fight this battle. So from today's shloka, he will give reasons why he cannot fight. So let us chant the shloka. Papam eva shrayed asman atvaitan atatayina tasmanarha vayam hantum dhatarashtran sabandhavan Swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syama madhava. So if anybody wants to chant, they can repeat. Papam eva shrayed asman
Papamivashret asman
hatvaitan atatayina
Advaitam Atmanam
tasmanarha vayam hantum
तस्मान्नार्हा वयं हन्तुं
dhatarashtan sabandhavan
धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबन्धवान्
स्वजनम hi katham hatva
स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा
sukhinha sam madhava.
सुखिनाशा माधव.
And if anybody wants to.
पापम् एव पापम् एव पापमेव पापमेव श्रेयदस्मान् हत्वा हत्वा पापमेव श्रेयदस्मान् हत्वैताना तथायिनः तस्मान्नार्हाव्यं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबन्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः माधव.
So, okay, thank you very much. So, we'll read the translation and purport. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of goddess of fortune? How could we be happy by killing our own kinsman? Purport. According to the Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors: a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapon, one who plunders riches, and one who occupies another land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man, but Arjuna was not ordinary man. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in administration of state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Ram was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Ram, Ram Rajya. But Lord Ram never showed any cowardice. Ravan was an aggressor against Ram because Ravan kidnapped Ram's wife Sita, but Lord Ram gave him sufficient lesson unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, son, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe step necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than kill his own kinsmen for political reason, it would be better to forgive them on the grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. So why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own skillmen? Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhav or husband of goddess of fortune is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring him about misfortune. Krishna, however, brings never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees. So this is the first reason that Arjuna is giving, that why he don't want to fight or why he's not prepared to fight. So he says the sin will overcome us, and he has used the word atitayina, means aggressors. And Prabhu Srila Prabhupada has given the six types of aggressors mentioned in the Shastra. So, but Arjuna, being the devotee of the Lord and also a pure soul, he will not like to deal with these aggressors or akitavina in ordinary manner, like ordinary people will behave. They may fight or they may kill. But as we have been discussing, that to forgive is the greatest quality of a Vaishnav or a saintly person. And also, um, in case of Arjuna on the battlefield, the aggressors who are in front of him are his guru, and he's got his fathers or his grandfather or who have taught him everything in his life. So they are acharyas for him. So for Arjuna's case, though the opposite army is have aggressors, there is a special consideration because if we kill our own guru or acharya or grandfather, then we incur sins. So this is as per the Dharma Shastra, and what the six aggressors and killing them is permitted. That is as per the Artha Shastra. So it is mentioned that when there is conflict between the two statements of the Shastras, then the Dharma Shastra is more important. So Arjuna's behavior that he is ready to forgive them is as per the Dharma Shastra because he don't want to do any adharma by killing his acharyas. So that's why he's saying that sin will overcome us because even if we kill them and win the kingdom, we will not be happy because they will not be there. And even if we live after that, we will be covered with the sins. So that life also will not be a happy life or fortunate life. So that's why Arjuna's consideration of forgiving the aggressors is justified by the Dharma Shastra. And similarly, we see the example how this war actually started when Krishna went to, after the exile of Pandavas was finished, uh, Krishna went as the final chance or final opportunity as a peace messenger, and the way it's mentioned in the Mahabharata how he uh, addressed Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra when he went to have the peace. So in the Shastra there is also mention of Sam, Dam, Danda and Veda, four ways or the four steps to come to the conclusion of every conflict. So Krishna first asked Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra to give them back his, or to give Yudhishthir back his kingdom, Indraprastha. So because he told that he is the owner of that kingdom and now he has completed his exile, so they should return his kingdom. And Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana didn't agree to this. So this was the Sama angle, or uh, explain what has happened. Then he proposes Dharma, or he negotiates. Okay, if you cannot give the complete kingdom, okay, give Pandavas five cities to rule, and they will be satisfied with that. But Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra didn't agree to this also. Then he said, now if you are not agreeing to anything, then you will have to fight, and that fight will bring uh, uh, bad name to Dhritarashtra, because he will be the reason of that this war, and he will be responsible for all the killing or who die in the battlefield. So he gave Dhritarashtra a strict warning, that is a part of Danda, and he tried to explain Bhishma also that he should stop this war, also Dhritarashtra, also Duryodhan, but still they didn't agree. And then the final opportunity, the final step was Bheda. That means the only option left was war. So even Krishna also followed these steps when he went as a peace messenger. So um, in our day-to-day life also, whenever we face these conflicts, we face conflicts in our relationships, or in office, or in workplace, or between friends, family. So we have to follow these four steps. First, we have to explain what wrong has happened and how it is not correct. And then we propose a solution, a peace solution, how this can be settled. If that does not work, then are the next two steps. So we are not supposed to go directly to the last step of killing or having the fight. That because that's for ordinary people, but those who study Bhagavad Gita and who worship God and Vishnu are called saintly people, and forgiveness is the main quality of saintly person. So, taking revenge or taking tit for tat, as we say, behaving like tit for tat is not always a solution, because that does not solve many times the problems. So, it is mentioned in Shastra or Dharma Shastra that should try to forgive, and if that does not work, then very last step it should be this, like Krishna said, now there is only option of war. So here the actions that Arjuna is putting forward are also quite befitting the process that Shastra has mentioned, and he has used that Shastric injunctions that he should not kill these aggressors, though they are aggressors, we should not kill them because they are acharyas. So his argument is also based on Shastra. So though he was confused and he was forgetting his position and what he was doing, still Arjuna was uh, giving the reference or behaving exactly according to what is mentioned in the Shastra. So his consciousness in this situation was also very high, and he was aware what he is talking. So that's another quality of a great saintly person, that he knows in all the situation, he knows what he is doing and what he's supposed to do, because his life is based on some principles and he follows those principles in all the situations. So this today we saw is giving the first reason, and there will be series of shlokas, 4 to 5 shlokas after these, where um, Arjuna will give several reasons how it will impact himself as an individual Pandav, or as a society, what it will impact if the war happens. So we'll see that in subsequent shlokas. Uh, from tomorrow onwards. Thank you very much. Any other points or reflections? Please feel free to share. We have few minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have a question.
Mhm.
One who occupies another's land. It is the fifth point. How we can deal with such a person?
Yeah, so we have to follow the same process, na? Sam, Dam, Danda, and Veda. Means, of course, the person depends on the person, but still, like even if we first we have to tell that this land does not belong to you, and I am the official or legal owner of this land, and you have occupied this land unofficially. So he should vacate. Of course, these things should, for one personally, one to one, these things may be difficult. So this should, if required, should happen legally, a legal notice. People give the legal notice that this land does not belong to you, this land belongs to us. So please vacate this land within 3 months. They give warning. And if that person does not follow that, then they again give another warning that if you don't vacate in next 15 days, then we will have to use force or police or some ways to, and we will throw all his stuff and everything. So their force, they will apply the force, and they will also file a court case. So this is the second warning, and then even if that person does not hear or listen, then after 2 to 3 warnings legally, then we, the person, we are liable to go to the court and register the case. So this is also followed in the legal process when we deal with such matters. And of course, legal matters will take some time to settle down, but recently person, it will be very difficult to use the Veda or against directly confronting that person. Who we don't, means depends on the person whom we are dealing with. If he's also simply a considerable person whom we can talk with, then of course it can be settled by talk. But otherwise, we have to go legally and follow the process. But it may take time because this war also didn't happen in couple of days, right? It also took time to start the war, actually, the decision of war. So similarly, it will take time, and there may be different complications in this also. But the process-wise is this process.
Thank you, Prabhuji. But the legal way takes time. It
Yeah,
doesn't go smooth. Uh,
yes, that's, we are helpless there, right? The legal things will take their own time, and not everything is in our hand. So there also we need patience and tolerance and waiting. It's a painful process if something like that has to be done.
yes, you are correct. Thank you so much.
So this saintly behavior about forgiving means to us, it's applied to not applied to Arjuna because he's Kshatriya and his duty is to fight, and he's doing against his duty. What he's thinking, it's against his dharma. But for us, we are not Kshatriya, so what is recommendation for us to forgive?
No, no, this applies to Arjuna also, right? He didn't agree to kill them. So he followed the dharma that he will not kill them.
But he is a Kshatriya, that
Still,
Arjuna.
but he's following the, as a Kshatriya, he's following the Kshatriya dharma also. So there, when there is a conflict, you don't have to follow this, what is mentioned as aggressor to kill them. That is Artha Shastra. And he is following the Dharma Shastra that you should not kill your acharyas or your gurus. So he's following the higher principle. So he's also not. That's why he's saying, I'm not ready to fight." So he's giving that reference that higher is the Dharma Shastra. So I will not fight based on that. Okay. Thank you very much for joining and discussing few points. That's really helpful. And we'll see tomorrow again what other reasons Arjuna gives and what reference he uses in his conversation with Krishna. And after that, how Krishna diffuse all these arguments by Arjuna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.